Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wimberley High School's annual Veterans Day ceremony. I'm Whitley Leonard, the Senior Class President at WHS. The WISD Board of Trustees, our administration, our staff, and our students welcome you into our school for this celebration. Thank you to Mr. Apollinar and our wonderful band for the music they shared with us as we came in. Let's please give them a round of applause. We'll hear more from them in a little while. The United States has recognized November 11th as a special date since 1919, which was originally called Armistice Day. It commemorates the formal end of World War I, which ended at the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918. In 1954, with the approval of Public Law 380, Armistice Day was officially renamed as Veterans Day and is a day to honor and recognize all of the brave men and women who have served in the branches of our country's military. I am particularly honored to be MC of today's assembly, as my great-grandfather, Joe Platt, served in the U.S. Army in 1957 and served in the 82nd Airborne as a paratrooper. While he passed when I was too young to hear or appreciate any of his stories, he was a dedicated patriot and took pride in his service to our nation. I hope to honor him today. Please join me in the first of many rounds of applause for the veterans whom we have the honor of having here. Now, I'd like to introduce our first distinguished guest. He will be introducing our other honored guests that join us today. Please welcome Wimberley ISD Superintendent Dr. Greg Bonewald.
Thank you, Whitley, and good morning, Wimberley High School. Particular welcome to our veterans. Thank you so much for being here today with us. I do have the pleasure of introducing some distinguished guests. Would like to start with members from our Wimberley ISD Board of Trustees. Would you please stand when I call your name? Board Vice President Ken Strange. Trustee Chad Canine. And Trustee Lindsay Derringer. City of Wimberley Mayor Jim Childs. City of Wimberley Administrator Tim Patek. City of Wood Creek Mayor-elect Deborah Hines. City of Wood Creek Mayor Pro Tem Chris Grummert. District 73 State Representative Carrie Isaac. Hayes County Sheriff Anthony Hippolito. Hayes County Precinct 3 Constable Don Montague. We are honored to be joined today by the Hays County Sheriff's Office Honor Guard. Wimberley Fire Chief Christopher Robbins. VFW Oldham Cummings Post 6441 Commander Huey Sandifer. VFW Oldham Cummings Post 6441 Auxiliary President Jennifer Bravo. WISD Assistant Superintendent Jason Valentine. And Wimberley High School Principal Ryan Wilkes. At this time, I would like to invite everyone to stand as the Hays County Sheriff's Honor Guard, along with Boy Scouts Troop 127, presents our national and state flags.
Please remain standing as Senior Class Vice President and National Honor Society President Jordan Donaldson lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and Texas Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. And now, please continue standing for the national anthem from our combined Wimberley High School and Danforth Junior High Choir.
Stripes and Christ
Thank you, choir. That was amazing. Also, a big thank you to Marlo Congdon, Gracie Collier, and Serena Weiss, who performed the anthem in sign language. Now, let's hear from one of our most decorated speakers, Senior Austin Howard. As a multiple-time state qualifier in speech events, Austin is the perfect person to deliver powerful excerpts from past Veterans Day speeches of U.S. Presidents Eisenhower, Kennedy, Reagan, and Bush.
Good morning to our honored guests and my fellow students. Traditionally, each Veterans Day, our U.S. President attends a Veterans Day ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery and lays a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier at precisely 11 a.m. The President then makes an address at the event. I am proud to read excerpts from 4 speeches made by U.S. Presidents at these ceremonies. I begin with portions of President Dwight Eisenhower's 1954 proclamation that officially established Veterans Day. Whereas, it has long been our custom to commemorate November 11th, the anniversary of the ending of World War I, by paying tribute to the heroes of that tragic struggle and by rededicating ourselves to the cause of peace. And whereas, in the intervening years, the United States has been involved in 2 other great military conflicts, which have added millions of veterans, living and dead, to the honor rolls of this nation. And now, therefore I, Dwight D. Eisenhower, President of the United States of America, do hereby call upon all of our citizens to observe Thursday, November 11th, 1954, as Veterans Day. On that day, let us solemnly remember the sacrifices of all those who fought so valiantly on the seas, in the air, and on foreign shores to preserve our heritage of freedom, and let us reconsecrate ourselves to the task of promoting and enduring peace so that their efforts shall not have been in vain. Next is an excerpt from President John F. Kennedy's address at the Veterans Day ceremony in 1961. We celebrate this Veterans Day for a very few minutes, a few seconds of silence, and then this country's life goes on. But I think it most appropriate that we recall on this occasion and on every other moment when we are faced with great responsibilities, the contribution and the sacrifice which so many men and their families have made in order to permit this country to now occupy its present position of responsibility and freedom, and in order to permit us to gather here together. 24 years later, in 1985, President Ronald Reagan also gave remarks. He said, "The living have a responsibility to remember the conditions that led to the wars in which our heroes died. Perhaps we can start by remembering this, that all of those who died for us and our country were, in one way or another, victims of a peace process that failed, victims of a decision to forget certain things, to forget, for instance, that the surest way to keep a peace going is to stay strong. Peace fails when we forget what we stand for. It fails when we forget that our republic is based on firm principles, principles that have real meaning, that with them, we are the last best hope of man on earth. Without them, we're little more than the crust of a continent. Peace also fails when we forget to bring to the bargaining table God's first intellectual gift to man, common sense. Common sense gives us a realistic knowledge of human beings and how they think, how they live in the world, what motivates them. Common sense tells us that man has magic in him, but also clay. Common sense can tell the difference between right and wrong. Common sense forgives error, but it always recognizes it to be error first. Finally, I'll close with pieces from George W. Bush's 2001 Veterans Day speech, given exactly 2 months following the 9/11 attacks. Our men and women in uniform have given America every reason to be proud. In this last century, they made our nation more secure and advanced the cause of human freedom. In this new country, they continue to defend our country and to defeat our enemies, not just to protect our way of life, but to preserve it for generations to come. To the veterans who are here with us today, I say thank you for your service. You have defended our freedom, and you have helped to to spread freedom across the globe. You have shown discipline, courage, and honor. You have faced danger and accepted sacrifice. You have lived according to a code that is as old as our republic: service before self. These voices remind us why today matters. Thank you for honoring them with your attention.
Thank you, Austin. That was very wonderfully done. At this time, our Wimberley Texan Band will perform the Armed Services Medley. I invite our veterans to stand for recognition when your branch is represented in the song. Thank you, Texan Band. Now please join me in welcoming WHS Principal Ryan Wilkes to honor and recognize the WHS Class of 2025 members who are currently serving in the military.
Thank you, Whitley. We gathered today not only to honor the brave men and women who have served in the military, but also would like to pay a special tribute to our own, the individuals from the class of 2025 who have answered the call to serve our country with unwavering dedication. It takes profound commitment and sacrifice to choose a path of service, to protect the values that we hold dear. So please join me in recognizing the graduates of 2025 who are now serving in the military. Felipe Cruz, Army. Finley Shaw, Army. Christian Husted, Marines. Ruben Quintana, Marines. Hiram Stufel, Marines. To the class of 2025 in uniform, we salute you. Thank you for your spirit of service, sense of duty, and selflessness.
Thank you, Mr. Wilkes. Next, please welcome to the podium our Assistant Superintendent, Jason Valentine, who will recognize the WSISD staff members who are veterans.
Thank you, Whitley. Good morning, Wimberley students, staff, parents, community members, and most of all, our veterans present today for this assembly. Serving the students, parents, and staff of Wimberley ISD is a noble undertaking and one that does not go unnoticed. Serving your country as a member of the armed services to preserve our freedom as we know it is the most noble undertaking. Please join me in celebrating the WISD staff members who have served in the armed forces. If present today, please stand to be recognized when I call your name. In the U.S. Air Force, Ken Strange, WISD trustee. In the U.S. Army, Edward Pacina, technology at Blue Hole Primary. U.S. Army, Danielle Ruiz, Danforth Junior High. U.S. Army, Lewis Titus, Transportation. U.S. Army, Elizabeth Wager, Blue Hole Primary. U.S. Army, Ryan Wilhelm, Danforth Junior High. Marine Corps, George Montemor, Transportation. U.S. Navy, Bo Bowman, Wimberley High School. U.S. Navy, Gilbert Cano, Blue Hole Primary. U.S. Navy, David Medeksho, Transportation. U.S. Navy, Lowry Walker, Wimberley High School Texan Star sponsor. Thank you to those staff members that have served.
Thank you, Mr. Valentine, and thank you again to all of our WISD staff members who served in the military and continue to serve in your current roles in the district. Now I'm honored to introduce the main speaker of today's ceremony. Rod E. Hairston served 11 years in the United States Navy's Special Warfare, training elite Navy SEALs and working alongside Special Operations Forces, including the CIA and the DEA. After his military service, he studied under world-renowned performance coach Anthony Robbins and went on to become an international best-selling author and CEO of Growth U and NASP. Mr. Hairston has been awarded an honorary doctorate from Centenary University in recognition of his exceptional achievements in behavioral conditioning, leadership, and human potential. His transformative programs have impacted over 500 companies and millions of lives worldwide, including elite athletes, Fortune 400 executives, and leading organizations such as Disney and Honeywell. For more than 30 years, Mr. Hairston's mission has been to bring the mindset of the world's best performers to help individuals and teams achieve extraordinary results. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Rod Hairston.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to thank my fellow veterans, thank our first responders, our public servants, and I want to thank our future leaders of our country and our community. I've accomplished a lot in my life, and I want to just tell you I got that from the foundation of the military, but it's a little bit different than you think. When you sign up at 17 years old, I went in early because I goofed around in school and decided, I'm gonna go to the military and get some discipline. A lot of us did that in the 80s, right? And you wanna go to jail or you wanna go to the military? I'll go to the military, right? He's laughing because he's one of them, right? Most of them, oh my goodness, we all were together. So I decided to go to the military. I get to the military and you decide, all right, how do I get through this? How do I get through this? What, am I going to kill somebody? Am I going to be killed? Where am I going to go? Who am I going to be? Where am I going to show up? How long am I going to be in here? Man, this is scary. It's massive uncertainty. But then as you go through the process and you have people yelling at you and telling you what to do and taking away your freedoms and your liberties and actually having you walk a certain way, act a certain way, think a certain way, you start realizing it's not about you. And this is what I want to share today. The most beautiful things I learned to build the beautiful homes and create a great family and do all of these wonderful things I got in the military, in boot camp, absolutely. And it served me for the rest of my life. And it will serve me for the rest of my life because I'm going to live a long time. Number one, I learned that I have to learn how to communicate with me first. The first intelligence was intrapersonal, not interpersonal, intrapersonal. That if I love me, if I care for me, then I can focus on other people. Now, this is really important because we're not designed to focus on ourselves. We're designed to focus on others. We're designed to care for ourselves, love ourselves, be strong so we can take care of other people. Does that make sense? This is how we're designed. You look in the mirror too long, you're going to see flaws. We're designed to take care in, to love out. And you started learning that because now I'm around these strange people that are different, that come from different places, that maybe I wouldn't even get along with, and now I'm ready to die for this person? How did that happen? He doesn't look like me, talk like me, he doesn't come from where I come, doesn't even have the same belief systems. But man, why would I put my life on the line and feel great about it? Why am I happier focused on my squad than myself? Because maybe that's how we're designed. When you think about people that do well in law enforcement or government, they care beyond themselves, right? Step number two is I learned that if it's not about me, then how I communicate with other people needs to be about what they need, not what I want to give them, okay? That if I really care, if I really love me and I care and I don't need anything from out there, then I can give you what you absolutely need. So that interpersonal intelligence is just this distinction. Communicate, care about others in a way in which supports them, not the way you want to do it. There's so many times my friends will give me things that I didn't ask for and then get upset about giving it to me. Well, I didn't ask for it. It doesn't serve me. Find out what I need. And this is a very good age to start thinking that way. How do I take care of me and give me what I need so I can care for others? All right? Number three, start thinking about how your love, your compassion, your strength is going to be a gift to your community. Not everybody has to be a leader, but really, really great leaders know how to follow beautifully, okay? Right? So I can be a leader here and not have to lead a school or an organization because that might not be my skill set. However, I can choose to lead. I can choose to lead, and I can choose to follow. I can choose to follow in a really, really powerful way. It doesn't make me less than. In I own a couple of companies, and a couple of my companies, I'm not the CEO. I'm the guy that works for the CEO because that's the best opportunity for the community, for the customer. But I can get there when I take care of me first, when I love me first, when I create compassion for me first. And number 4, recognize that at our core, at the core of who we are, beyond the physical, beyond our belief systems, our political systems, we are all the same thing. We're all the same soul. That's probably the most beautiful thing I got being in the military, is that when it was time to deploy, we were one thing. Am I right, fellas? Right? We were one thing. Am I right, ma'am? One thing. One thing. That's the opportunity. And that one thing is unity. That unity is love. That love is the U.S. We have to get back to that. We have to get past all of this nonsense and get back to the thing that if it's going to be about me, right, then it's got to be about love, because that's what I am. That's what I learned in the military, folks. That's what I learned with my 10 years and going into special forces and doing a bunch of really, really great things. It didn't make me this really strong, powerful man. It made me a man that learned compassion. And what I'm going to say to you today is for those of you that decide to go and serve, or be a first responder, or serve the government, or be a police officer, that's beautiful. Just make sure to come from the heart when you do that, because it supports you and really creating the most amazing experience in great life. Come from the heart. Recognize that the Creator gave you everything that you need to be strong, powerful, and compassionate. Thank you for having me. Take this forward and love your life. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hairston. It's amazing to hear from someone with your experiences. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your story and wisdom with us today. We deeply appreciate your service and the example you set for every generation. Let's give Mr. Hairston one more round of applause. Now I invite each of you to stand for a moment of silence as we honor veterans among us in the memory of those that no longer are. Please remain silent through the playing of taps by Danforth Junior High Band Director Amanda Daniels. This concludes today's ceremony. Thank you all for your attendance today, especially our honored guests, the military veterans who are with us. Thank you also to our community leaders who joined us this morning. And to my fellow students, thank you for being a respectful audience. You may now proceed to your second period classes.